third offer. This was to an investor in Ohio, Columbus, I believe. So he has a duplex in Columbus, and he was approached by someone who lives in the area, and that buyer wanted to buy his duplex. All right, folks, my name is Bill Cook. One of the things to realize as real estate investors, as the deal structuring techniques we were using 5-6 weeks ago may not be the best deal structuring tools to use over the next 3 to 6 months. So what are some of the structures that Kim and I think will be working well moving forward? Subject to deals, straight options, master leasing out a property, but getting an option to be able to purchase it at some point in the future. Buying notes from private money lenders who are holding paper. Right now, they'd rather have cash. Now, his duplex is not for sale. He's in the process of rehabbing, almost done rehabbing it, but someone else wanted to own it and said, would you sell this thing? And that buyer offered to buy the duplex for $78,000. So my question for you, how would you structure that deal? If you were the owner of this duplex, and by the way, you have $66,000 into this deal. So between the mortgage for what you bought it for and the repairs you put into it, you're into this for 66, and all of a sudden someone comes along out of the blue and offers you 78. What would you do? How would you structure this deal? So when I talked to them, after understanding both their situation and understand the buyer situation, I said the best thing you can do is don't accept their $78,000 offer. Instead, sell them the property for $66,000. So why would I have them sell the property for $12,000 less than what they're asking? It's because for the buyers, and they have a couple rental properties in the area, it gives them a safer house. Meaning, because they're going to be getting a mortgage based on $66,000 for $78,000, their monthly payments will be lower. It's going to be safer for them, and when they have it rented, they'll make more each month. Also for the investor, if he sells it for $66,000 and he has $66,000 into it, what's the tax ramifications of that? None. He has $66,000 in it, he sells it for $66,000, no tax ramifications. Here's a question for you. What if he agreed to sell the property for $55,000 instead of $65,000 or $66,000? Wouldn't that be a loss? Can he use that loss against his earned income taxes? The buyer buys a property at closing. So he's buying the property now at below market at $66,000, but at closing, he gives the investor an option to buy that property back at any time in the next 30 years. But the one thing about the buyer wants to own this property for a number of years because they see the rents going up in that area, the area's coming on strong, and they don't necessarily want the investor to come in and buy it in the next 2 or 3 years. So what the investor is going to do is sit back and say, okay, every month, this is going to be to the buyers, every month you send us a check for $100. We'll not exercise the option for that month, and we'll do that for up to 5 years. Now, if you don't send the check for $100, we can exercise the option. But do you see where that's where the buyer can make an extra $6,000? Just by having the buyer send them a check not to exercise the option. If and when the investor does exercise their option, anything above the $78,000, when he sells a house, any profit above the $78,000, the investor and the buyer will split 50-50. So do you see where they both get part of the appreciation? But in this case, where the buyer is going to get a mortgage to buy the property for $66,000, as that mortgage pays down, the buyer gets all the amortization. So if when the option is exercised, the balance on the mortgage is $46,000, then the buyer's going to get that $20,000 of pay down on that mortgage. And I know, if you're a newer investor, you're sitting there listening to me going, what is he talking about? Creative deal structuring is his own language. It's like learning Chinese. And you do this by being around it. You have to immerse yourself in it. And trust me, when I first got started, I didn't understand how to do any of these things. That's why I wanted you to go to our website, BillandKimCook.com. And if you go to it and you look at the top, you'll see a little button about Bill and Kim Cook. Click on the button and you'll see our bio, and you really don't care about our bio, and that's fine. But look below that and you'll see our timeline. See how long it took us to learn how to do leases and options and subject to deals and owner carries and teeter-totter offers. See how long it took for us to master the art, master the language of creative deal structuring. So it takes a long time. So as you're hearing this, if you're frustrated, you're going, I don't know what he's even talking about, that's because you haven't learned the language yet. But will you? Do you want to? And that really becomes your choice.
To watch the rest of the 4 creative deals, click on the playlist on the screen now. And for additional education, check out the links below. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more great real estate content.